Why do so many poor and working-class white Americans vote against their own economic interests? On the surface, it seems confusing. Policies like affordable health care, labor protections, a livable wage, and social safety nets clearly help them. Yet many still vote for politicians who oppose those policies. The reason isn't random. It has a long history. In America, being white has always come with social status and power, even for people who are economically struggling. As W.B. Du Bois put it, poor whites were given a psychological wage, a sense of belonging, dignity, and higher status compared to non-white groups. That feeling often matters as much as, or more than, money. For decades, many working-class white voters were able to do both things at once. They could vote Republican on cultural issues, race, identity, tradition, while still benefiting from Democratic programs like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and labor protections. In other words, they could have their cake and eat it too. Protect a social hierarchy they valued while still getting economic help. Republican politicians leaned into this strategy, especially starting with Nixon and Reagan, by emphasizing fears about cultural change, government overreach, and threats to traditional identity. Meanwhile, Democrats often kept winning enough power to preserve the programs that helped these voters financially. Surveys show many of these voters know social programs help them, but still vote for candidates who attack those programs because identity and status feel more immediate and personal than policy details. Donald Trump destroyed this balance. His policies directly dismantled healthcare, labor rules, and safety nets that many of his supporters relied on. The old system, voting Republican for identity while counting on Democrats for economic support, has come to an end. Finally, cultural and racial loyalty came with real economic costs. This isn't about stupidity or ignorance. Many voters are making rational choices based on what they value most: identity, belonging, and social status. Economic self-interest matters, but it competes with fear of losing cultural standing and perceived social power. That's why economic promises alone often don't change voting behavior. Race, identity, and culture remain powerful forces in American politics. For a long time, the system allowed poor and working-class whites to balance cultural loyalty to Republicans with material benefits protected by Democrats. For decades, many believed Democrats would always safeguard programs like Social Security, health care, and labor protections. That safety net gave them the freedom to attack Democrats for woke politics while still relying on Democratic policies to survive. It also allowed them to signal loyalty to a white social hierarchy through the Republican Party without immediate personal cost. But that illusion ended when they put Trump back in office again last November. Now the bill has come due, and there's no cake left to eat.